Okay, boxing fans, back with a new show. Told you I would be back before the Sturm-Lorenzo fight today, trying to get that prediction up. So, before the fight takes place and everything. So, anyway, we've got Felix Sturm versus Giovanni Lorenzo. Should be a very interesting fight at the super middleweight division. Felix Sturm and Lorenzo both have 2 losses. Sturm to Castillejo and to De La Hoya several years ago. A lot of people thought Sturm did pull that fight out. I was actually in the minority there, and I believe De La Hoya did deserve that decision. 7 rounds to 5 was close, but I think he did win that fight. But anyway, the 2 losses of Lorenzo I've seen. Did not think he lost either one to Sebastian Sylvester or Raul Marquez. They were close, I will say that, but did not think he lost either one. Lorenzo, just the more powerful fighter, I guess you would say. Maybe about the same. Power they have, but Lorenzo's got the edge in speed. And I'm going to go ahead and pick Lorenzo by 12-round decision. I'll say 7 rounds to 5. It probably will be pretty close. So, okay, you saw me looking over. I was just checking to see if I was in the right view of the camera there, so of the webcam. Try not to do that anymore. But anyway, so I'm going to go with Lorenzo, 12-round decision. I'm going to say 8-4, 116, 112. Okay, and so that's pretty much the fight for this weekend, September the 4th. Now next week we've got a lot of fights, a bunch of different cards, a bunch of different fights. So next week will be a good weekend. We've got on HBO Yuriorkis Gamboa fighting Orlando-Salido, and this will be a good test for Gamboa. Salido's kind of just a wild brawler. Gamboa should tear him apart pretty easily. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Gamboa 7th round knockout. That's what I'm gonna go with. Gamboa just too fast, too skilled. I mean, he does everything better than Salido, basically. On the undercard of that, you've got Anthony Peterson fighting Brandon Rios. Both undefeated fighters, should be very entertaining. I've never seen Brandon Rios fight. He's from Oxnard, California. Same place as Fernando Vargas, of course. Should be entertaining. Don't know what kind of a style he brings. Gonna go with Peterson simply because seen him a good bit, and he lets his hands go, very powerful. Throws great combinations, so I'm going to pick Peterson to win. Could be by decision or a late round knockout. That's what I'm going to go with. And I believe the winner of this fight gets a title shot at Humberto Soto, I believe. I think that's what I've heard, but I could be wrong about that. But either way, I'm going to go with Peterson, and I think it's his time to get a title shot. He's been at it a while now and been doing good, so hopefully he can win this fight, and we'll see what he does next with the title shot. I believe it would be against Soto, I think, but I'm not exactly 100% sure on that. Okay, and moving on, we've got Eric Morales fighting again at the welterweight division this time, or junior welterweight, somewhere way too high for him to be fighting. We'll just put it that way, against Willie Limond, or Limond, whatever his name is. Morales should have an easy time with him. He had a pretty easy fight in his last fight, the 12-round decision on his comeback fight. Gonna pick Morales to actually get a knockout this time. This Limond, whatever his name is, he has absolutely no power. 33 wins, I believe, like 7 knockouts, something like that, a very low percentage, and especially for the caliber of opponents he's fought, he should really have a pretty high knockout percentage. So he just obviously doesn't possess a good punch at all, so Morales, even if they do get into a brawl, Morales will just walk right through him, and I'm gonna say 5th round knockout for Morales. That's what I'm gonna go with. Okay, and also we have on ESPN, this will be broadcasted in the daytime at like 4 or 5 o'clock. That's Eastern time, so adjust that to whatever time zone you're at. And we have Samuel Peter versus Vladimir Klitschko, the rematch. Now, Back in 2005, Peter knocked Klitschko down 3 different times, and he won another round besides those 3 rounds that he knocked him down in. Pretty easy fight to score, 8 rounds to 4 for Klitschko, but he wound up winning by just 1 point on my card because of the 3 knockdowns, of course. Klitschko clearly did win the fight. Obviously, he outboxed him. Peter just a mauler type approach, very unskilled. Sure you all remember how much I despise both the Klitschko brothers. Just the heavyweight division in general right now is in absolute ruins, worst state it's ever been in by far. Peter lost pretty much all respect for him after the Vitali-Klitschko fight, and he just quit on his stool. There's just no excuse for that. Came in out of shape, just obviously did not train. And then I was willing to give him one more chance in the Eddie Chambers fight, and he showed nothing there either. So I'm going to, as much as I hate to say it, I'm going to have to pick Vladimir Klitschko in this fight, unfortunately. And I'm going to pick him to stop him. Probably the same thing as pretty much most of the Klitschko fights. He'll, jab like he's scared to death of him for about 9, 10, 11 rounds. Then he'll knock him out late, or he might even, take him the whole decision again. Peter supposedly looks pretty good in training. The photos of him, he's in shape, apparently more shape than he's been in a while, so who knows, he could get that punch in there. He does still have the power, and of course with this Klitschko's very weak chin, you never know what could happen. Could be some excitement if Peter wins to add to the heavyweight division, but we know how, undedicated he is, and he'll probably let himself go, even if he does win this fight. I don't know. Just more evidence of the, lackluster state that the heavyweight division is in. I mean, this is actually, probably one of the biggest fights that could be made, which is unfortunate. And of course you do have David Haye, who's making a good name for himself, and I do want him to fight both Klitschkos. I myself think he would beat both of them very easily. He's got the skill, the speed, good power to go along with it, and he moves in and out, kind of like Roy Jones used to do in his prime. He's never just right in front of you. He's always giving angles, giving movements, dancing around, so that's good. Any heavyweight now, David Haye would confuse the living hell out of them by doing that, by moving around that much, because, none of them do that, and none of them can possibly trap somebody or cut off the ring or anything. They're all way too slow, and yes, that includes the Klitschkos. They're very slow as well. They are the 2 top guys right now in the heavyweight division. As much as I do hate to say that, they are. And they're fighting the people that are available for them to fight right now. But it's just in a horrible, horrible state. And if we were in a different time, they would not even be in the top 10, neither one of them. So, anyway, that's my picks for this week's fight and all the fights for next week. And stay tuned for another show coming soon, probably either today or tomorrow, about, just boxing news and fights that were announced for later on this year, and be talking about what's going to happen in those fights, be talking about the world of boxing and boxing news in general. So stay tuned for a new show coming soon. Thank you.